Thank you for your interest in reading Artificial Intelligence and Martian Odyssey book. I have heard good questions from audience and from readers. One of the good questions so far was actually about the Martian colonization and human establishment on Mars. So I have received the question that what would be a realistic scenario for human uncrewed landing and after that crewed landing. So in this video, let's briefly chat about what's going to be the realistic situation for uncrewed landing on Mars. So if this was before SpaceX, the answer would be just based on guesswork. But now, with the advancements that we have seen in the past 15 years, between say 2010 to 2025, which is now mid 2025, it is very much predictable that the technology is there, not of course yet for human landing, but then for sure for a robotic landing that would basically mean having some number of androids or humanoids, let's say, for example, Tesla humanoids, uh, boarded on a starship and just maybe sending two of them at the same time or three, just in case that we have unpredictable events. And then this would be most likely a one-way trip. So let's say from the moment the soonest one would be in 2026 timeframe or so, and after that in 2028, every 2 years, there is a good window, which means that the distance between Earth and Mars will be at a minimal, so that when we send a rocket, let's say spaceship, a Starship to Mars from Earth, it takes about, depending on how fast we go, it takes about 4.5 to 5 months for it to get there in a direct, let's say, journey. So what happens is, let's say we have two or three starships in the best case scenario being sent with minimal cargo, because this is not a crewed starship. And then we have, let's say, a number of humanoids, most likely Tesla humanoids, and maybe some scientific cargo for some paid scientific missions that are loaded on those starships. And then they are basically just flying for a span of 4.5 to 5 months. And then the soonest time I would imagine would be sometime in 2026, but most likely in 2028 for such a mission. Most likely, as I said, it will be uncrewed and it would be just one way. So I would say it would be just a matter of showcasing the capability with the hope that at least one of those three starships or two starships will get there and will end up successfully landing on Mars, and then one of the humanoids will carry the US flag as the event being recorded live, assuming successful landing on Mars, and then that humanoid will actually carry the flag similar or mimicking the carrying the flag situation back in 1969 when the first landing on the moon happened. So I think that humanoid will actually exit the Starship, record it live on camera, which of course will take say 10 to 12 minutes for the propagation delay to get to Earth, but then it will carry the flag and it will land on Mars and will place the flag on Mars. And this would be the first significant event, I assume, and naturally this should exponentially increase in public interest in terms of achieving uh, the crewed landing soon after that, say in a span of 2 or 4 years after that. So I assume, as I said, it would be more of a showcase of capability and the fact that it can be done, and then those humanoids will be operational. They will carry of course, the starship itself will be able to generate electricity, but then the humanoids potentially can carry also the equipment needed to generate electricity. Let's say solar panel and all the equipment needed to generate electricity for the minimal use case so that they can run scientific experiment and they can set minimal station up and running. It would be also an interesting experiment to have those there. So imagine up to this point in the past 30, 40 years, we have had robotic let's say instruments like, for example, rovers operating remotely. But now imagine we are having advanced humanoids that are basically operating autonomously So with, of course, remote dispatch in terms of what is expected from them, but they are completely operating independently in the meantime. So that will be an interesting and experiment to watch as well. What's going to happen when we have these humanoids left there? So then after that, I assume there will be another robotic mission. One thing I'm not sure about, depends on scenario, whether out of, for example, two or three starships, if they successfully get there after 4.5, 5 months of a trip, is there going to be a decision that one of them will do a flyby and just will come back, or that is not something, for example, considered because of lack of fuel? Because even though we assume there will be minimal load or cargo on those starships, it's just matter of showcasing the capability. But then, do we have enough fuel to come back without, let's say, for the one that is not landing and just doing a flyby around Mars? So there are many variables and variances of this conceptual plan regarding the first landing on Mars. What do you think? Which one you think will be something that is more reasonable or more exciting? Because as I said, the first mission like this, uncrewed mission, is not just about super logic, is mostly about generating excitement and showcasing that it is it's doable. It's completely doable with a reasonable investment. Imagine, think about it this way. Uh, the cost of making a new Starship is about on the order of, said, 80, $90 million. If you make the assumption it's completely brand new, meaning that no component of it was used or reused from the previous launch. So with that said, the cost of having that mission is not a big deal these days, given the numbers that we are hearing for the valuation of different startups and businesses. You're talking about, if you say $80 million per Starship, if even if we have two or three of them, you're talking about 250, $240 million mission cost for the kind of excitement that it generates. That is, I assume, a very reasonable investment. And but then the variances of this mission are, I mean, there are many assumptions going on here. Will we have a flyby? Is it going to be a one-way mission? Is it going to be only one Starship? Is it going to be two, three? So what would be the case? Um, and is there going to be important equipment that is being, for example, transferred or taken there in anticipation of future human mission or not? So share your thoughts about these questions and in the comment section below the video. And the link for the book is already posted in the channel. I assume the QR code, if it is visible, you can also scan that to see the book, because book is basically in the first chapters of it is trying to visualize a reasonable and functional and practical human colony just a few decades, maybe 20, 30 years after the first landing on Mars. So is basically trying to see what the format of that colony would be. Okay, share your thoughts. Let me know what questions you have in mind. Let me know what questions you specifically would like to see a discussion and video about. But this is what I believe is going to be a reasonably uh, doable mission, which is going to happen in the next 2 or 4 years. All right. Thanks for your interest in the book. Again, share your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you.